So I was staring at my collection. I was thinking to myself, if my place was to burn down, which 10 would I want to save? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. Today we're going to be talking about 10 fragrances that I cannot live without. If my place were to go on fire, God forbid, because I've got dogs and cats, and that's an absolute nightmare of a thought on its own. These are the 10 that I would save. There are 2 honorable mentions that I would try my best to just shove in my pocket or put under my hat or whatever. So the honorable mention that we're going to mention here is going to be Chanel Allure Homme, and this is the OG. So gentlemen, are you looking for a classic vibe that's just all year, all time? Check out Allure Homme. This is my second bottle, man, but I really haven't been showing it much love because of all the testing that I do. The second honorable mention will likely become not just an honorable mention, it will become a part of this list, but because it's relatively new, I don't think it's genuine for me to actually place it in this list, but it will definitely make it in the next one. And this is from ALSHEEKH, and it's called Remember Me Black. Rum, cinnamon, tonka, sexy. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive into these 10. I'm not going to do it in any particular order, but the first one I'm going to start off with has been through hell and back with me, and it's been beat the fuck up. And this is Mancera's Instant Crush. Although can be headache-inducing for some, this one, it's just nostalgic for me, man. It's got that Baccarat spun saffron, but that's the only similarity that it has to Baccarat. Quite different, and in my opinion, a bit more interesting. It does have those tropical fruits. Some gentlemen can find this one to lean a little bit more feminine, and it's not safe for beginners into the fragrance realm. That one's eternal, lasts a hell of a long time. I've taken that one on a vacation, and I've worn it in numerous meaningful events, and I think that's one of the reasons why. When you draw that relationship of events to a scent, it really does stick in your head. And speaking of that kind of relationship, this one is going to be another one that I save because of the fact that the relationship is actually pretty near and dear to me. This is my fragrance that I created through SPHINX Fragrances, and it's called Coconut DAIQUIRI. This stuff I also took on vacation with me, you guys. This is my favorite summertime tropical coconut fragrance. It's lemon, lime, sugar, coconut, rum, and musk, and a hefty dose of sugar and vanilla. Although it says Coconut DAIQUIRI, you would be surprised at how much lemon, lime, and sugar this actually opens up with. Pretty sweet, it's very creamy, not too much of that suntan lotion vibe. This is a very long-lasting unisex fragrance that I'm extremely proud of because of its performance, because of its scent, and because of just how good this one is. A lot of good reactions and pretty easy and safe fragrance to rock. And honestly, this one's great for the gym time as well. I've gotten numerous compliments while wearing this fragrance, and everyone that picks it up seems to enjoy it. Another fragrance is like the all-time best for me, like the best fragrance in the world ever. It's DIOR Homme Parfum. Straight up. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts to this fragrance. DIOR Homme Parfum is just, I love this stuff. The next one actually surprised me because I didn't think that I would actually pick this one up of all fragrances, but something about this is just so sexy. All my Indian brothers and sisters, you guys kill it with that kulfi, man. It's this ice cream with some cardamom or cloves, and it just screams Middle Eastern. It also screams obviously more Indian because it's an Indian base, and yes, they are different, Middle Eastern and Indian, but we're all brothers and sisters at the end of the day. This is Tom Ford's Noir Extreme. It just smells so freaking sophisticated, edible, gourmand, sexy. I mean, I'm saving this bad boy. Look at the level of juice on that sucker, man. This is, my mouth waters. So wet. This next one is probably the most opulent summertime fragrance. I'm going to use that word specifically because I felt like saying it. It just suits this fragrance. Really, it really does. This is one of the best summertime fragrances in my opinion, but it's much more upscaled. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this for the highest of heat, but it's a level up for most freshies. This is AMIRI by Arabian Oud. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of people talk about this fragrance. It's simple but complex at the same time. You'll be surprised that it's actually not something just crazy complex, but what it does it in the best way. It does this fresh vibe with some peppers. The presentation weighs like a ton. It weighs a brick. It's a brick. But the way that it does what it does is just finessed. So although not the most complex, definitely the most opulent in its category. Speaking of opulence, this is also another freshie that despite all of the hype talk and all that stuff, it deserves the hype that it gets. It's genuinely finessed as well. This is a summertime niche fragrance that is extremely popular, but it deserves every bit of its popularity. And this is not just hype, this is the truth, you guys. ROJA ELYSIUM is just awesome, man. It's got this perfect balance of fresh, it's got aromatic, just a hint of this vegetal quality. It's fantastic. It's honestly the cream of the crop when you come to summertime fragrances. and it's a highly, highly complimented fragrance for me. This next one, I practically drank it because it's a very close runner-up to Dior Homme Parfum. Although it doesn't have one of my favorite notes of that buttery lipstick iris, this one is all about the rose, but the way that it does this rose, if I could have a lifetime supply of this fragrance, that is the only way I'd be happy. I've got this bottle and 3 more stored because of the fact that I drink this fragrance. And this is 100 mLs of this juice, but not only is the fragrance just amazing, this bottle is freaking crazy. ARGOS Adonis Awakens. Honestly, one of the best presentations, period. I'm just gonna let the bottle speak for itself, man. Do I really have to say anything? Look at the level of juice. This is 100 mLs, and on the back of the plaque, you've got those ARGOS. Amazing details. These are all inspired by plaques, and they're embossed and debossed and raised. All hype aside, this is my favorite fragrance from ARGOS Fragrances. I own Triumph of Bacchus. I own pretty much every single one of their fragrances except for Pour Homme. Easily #1. Denier is also a great fragrance. I feel like it's this fragrance with the rose stripped back. So if you're not crazy about the rose and you just want the entire vibe, that cashmere and the woods and all that stuff, Denier would be the one for you. Triumph of Bacchus is a good fragrance in my opinion. I'm not crazy obsessed with it, but I know a lot of people are. This one, however, clearly I am obsessed. This is one that took me a little bit of time to appreciate. At first, when I initially sniffed this one, it was a little unusual as well, but it's usually the ones that are unusual at first that I end up just falling in love with. This is top 3 fragrances of all time for me. It's very different. People that first smell this the first time or younger than like 25 smell it and are like, what in the actual F is this? This is Black Phantom by KILIAN. This is super boozy, rum, chocolate, coffee, cognac, so sexy, so seductive, so boozy. But I mean, this stuff is mature. Like 25 is the minimum age, I believe, for this fragrance. If you do appreciate those kind of scents, then if you're younger than 25, you can get away with this. But generally speaking, for the most audience that I've come across and had smell this, they're not that crazy about it. But my God, this is so good. I spent the extra dollars to get the coffret because of how much I love this fragrance. And the coffret is actually pretty damn cool. We're down to the last 2. This one is the best out of the Stronger With You line. It's Stronger With You, absolutely. So clearly I'm into these boozy fragrances. That's my vibe. I'm all about the sexy date night, boozy, sweet, sexy, seductive fragrances. And this one is exactly that. It's definitely the best one of the entire DNA. Intensely is good as well, but it's a little sickly sweet. It can't be cloying. This one balances everything out. Chestnut, Nutella vibes with some of that booze. Smells fantastic. This is a designer fragrance that I think is definitely worth its price in retail. So if you can find this discounted, I would highly suggest picking this one up. Last on this list is the best from Parfums de Marly, and this is LAYTON EXCLUSIF. LAYTON EXCLUSIF is Layton with added notes of civet and oud. So a bit more of an animalic edge, an animalic twist. Layton is pretty sexy, compliment worthy. This one adds more of a funk to it, which in my opinion turns this one into an actual aphrodisiac. There you have it, 10 fragrances that I would save in a fire, 10 fragrances that I also can't live without. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and until the next one, peace.